All right, I'm installing the raff fuel crossover line, and I came into a problem on this one where the bolts are supposed to be this, I think they said 5/16 plug, which there's the socket for it. Comes with the kit from raff. Only problem was mine were these plugs, and that's 3/16 whatever these are. I'm not even sure, but the only way to get in there is, and this is what they are, hex bits. That's what it is, 3/16 hex bit. So this one right here was too long, so I couldn't use that. Luckily I had found this one in the toolbox. It was just about as long as that one, but I cut it down so you can see the difference there. I had to cut that down. The only way I could reach in there was vice grips, because that's going right there. It's hard to see, but right there, there's actually fuel dripping out of it. You probably can't see it, but there's that one. And then the one back here in the corner is that one. And now I'm gonna hook up the fuel pump and just flush that system out before I install the new lines. So if there's any chunks in that deadhead system that couldn't make it out the injectors, I'm gonna push them out with the fuel pump now, so that they're not stuck in there, or plug up these lines or whatever the case may be. I'm just gonna flush and clean that deadhead system out. So I have the fuel pump out because I cleaned the tank and I swapped fuel pumps and yada, yada, yada. So I gotta reinstall the fuel pump and get that set up. I also gotta put a filter in here because I had this all cleaned out and I was trying to drain and clean that. I think I have a filter inside. So I'll have to put a filter in, fill it up, clean out the deadhead system, push fuel through both these inlet and outlets, or both outlets at this point. I guess they're exhausts or outlet, going back to the tank. They tap back into the tank, but flush them before I even hook up, and then I'll kind of get an idea. I might try, I wish I had something to catch the fluid, like if I had a tap for that, and then 1/4-inch line so I could run it in a bucket, and then I'd see what comes out. But most likely it's just going to spray everywhere and whatever. It'll clean the system out. If there was any chunkies, I won't be able to see them, but they won't be in there anymore. So that's the plan as far as installing this raff fuel crossover line. It did come with the springs, even though I just did the spring kit a few days ago, but I guess I'll sell that to a buddy if he'll buy it, and then it's going to get replaced with this. So these two bolts go in there, the O-ring. This is for the fuel line, and then I think gold spring's the one I'm going to go with. That's kind of the middle spring. This silver one looks like the strongest, and the black one's the weakest. So I'll go with the gold, and then I'll keep these other ones inside the glove box so that if I ever need to change it, I can. I think in the last video I mentioned that the turbo on this is aftermarket, so I'm trying to fix that. I ordered a boost controller. I'm hoping I could tap into the line from this map sensor to the turbo wastegate and control it down so that it doesn't read over boost and it just gets rid of all the extra pressure, is what I'm thinking. Not 100% sure if that'll work, but I'll update you when that part comes and I'm able to install it. Like I said, with the turbos out, trying to get everything in the motor done to make it easier. The crossover line will be next. I might wait till I get the turbo in place just because I don't want it to be in the way. I mean, it shouldn't be. It only goes one way. Once again, the crossover line is going to go from that bolt to the one just behind here. I might do that because I'm in here. And then, worst comes to worst, I'll just have to take this fitting off and reroute it if it's not correct. But I'm pretty sure right here it won't be an issue because there's nothing to really be in the way of. It's just the turbo and everything back there. But pretty much I'm just letting you know on these plugs that unexpected, didn't have the parts or the pieces. Like I said, they give you this plug socket, but this doesn't have those plugs. So, and then the other thing I thought about is doing fuel plugs. That's behind here, and then one's behind the exhaust, and either drilling them out or buying the riff raff ones for more fuel. So this does have the aftermarket turbo, so I feel like it's lacking on fuel. Same kind of concept with the white truck, the Cummins, when I did that one, and it didn't blow any fuel on a stock ECM tune. One, I don't feel like it's good for it to not have any extra fuel. That's like its lubrication and cooling system. So I'd rather see some black smoke than zero black smoke. And it's also a power issue. If you ain't got fuel, you ain't gonna make no power. That's clear with that truck. And I was able to do that through tuning that one. But that's where this one's missing that aspect. I'm gonna get the tuner soon. The intercooler pipes came today. I'm gonna try to get those in probably while I'm cleaned out here, don't have the turbo in the way. It's a little more room, so I'll probably install those eventually, but mainly just trying to get this installed, and then, like I said, turn the key on and clean out the deadhead system, so if there's any chunks or debris in there, it can flush it. That's the plan right now. But that's an update on what I'm doing. Gives you an idea if you run into that problem. Here's the solution to get that out with these plugs, and then see where it goes from here. But just kind of an update and insight to how you can solve an issue without having to figure it out yourself. I already dealt with it, so that's how I did it. It worked. And you might be able to see that plug up here. No, you won't. Thought the light changed, but I guess not. Regardless, you'll know when you do it where those are. But all right.